I was doing something else. All righty, everybody. Get ready to accelerate your presentation skills. Welcome to Online Presenters. And this is an advanced club. And tonight we are celebrating National Fresh Tomato Day or Tomato Day. It's a reminder that sometimes the simplest ingredients bring the most flavor. Now, it's a clearer message as communicators know that we deliver with intention and we can be just as powerful as the most elaborate culinary dish, because when we combine strong structure with a touch of creativity, we create a truly culinary experience for our audience. Guests, we are delighted you're here this evening. Membership in Online Presenters is open to current or former Toastmasters if you've completed at least 6 speeches. And experienced presenters may also apply after delivering a short demonstration speech. Please note that all applications are subject to approval by our club members. We are a global club with members joining from many countries around the world. Please be mindful of language and cultural sensitivity as we support one another's growth as communicators and leaders. Now, this meeting is being recorded. If you prefer not to be included, please check the chat for opt-out instructions. And kindly mute your microphone when you're not speaking. Tonight, let's bring some fresh ideas, engaging delivery, and a little creativity to the table as we continue to refine our communication skills. And now, please help me welcome to the virtual stage our club president, Joni Laidlaw. Welcome, Joni.
Thank you. Thank you for that great introduction, Sunny. Now it's a holiday, and I know we all want to get wrapped up so that we can go back to whatever we were doing before. However, as we all know, that when you work on a holiday, you get double the pay. So we're going to get double the joy today for being here at Online Presenters and being a part of an excellent meeting. I believe it's going to be a culinary delight, which should actually make everyone happy, because we have a very special and interesting menu item. But before we get to that, we have, get this, a member induction ceremony. Now, this is always a good way to know if your club is being effective because it is growing. But I'm going to leave that up to our Vice President of Membership, doing an excellent job, to take it from here. Over to you, Allison.
All right. Thank you, Madam President Joni. My fellow Toastmasters and guests, it is such an honor. And today it is our duty and privilege to induct Carrie into Online Presenters Toastmasters Club. This is an important occasion both for Carrie and for our club. She has come to Online Presenters Toastmasters seeking to improve her communication, leadership, and online presentation skills. We have an opportunity to help her learn, grow, and achieve her goals. Please withhold your applause until at the end of the ceremony. And Carrie, you are joining Online Presenters, a club within a worldwide organization that has helped more than 4 million people learn to communicate more effectively. As members of Online Presenters Toastmasters, you will benefit from a proven program of self-development. You will become part of an outstanding group of people who are dedicated to helping one another in a spirit of sharing and enjoyment. And let's see, hang on a second, I have gotten myself off track. Membership in this club and in Toastmasters International is a privilege that carries with it many rewards, yet it also places certain obligations upon you. You are with a group of people brought together to do things that we could not accomplish alone. Our collective obligation is to grow and improve ourselves and to share our knowledge and experience with fellow members in a spirit of enjoyment. And this means that you must work diligently toward your own self-development, evaluate others, other speeches in a spirit of support and sharing, assist the club in reaching our goals, remain positive, have fun, and keep a smile on your face. We ask that you, our new member, to dedicate yourselves to personal growth, to share this great gift with your fellow members, and to help keep this Toastmasters Club strong and dynamic. Do you, Carrie, in the presence of your fellow members of the Online Presenters Toastmasters Club, make this firm obligation to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment, to apply yourself to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program, to participate actively in club meetings, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner, to build open, friendly relationships with your fellow members, to invite other members into the club so that they can join the benefits of Toastmasters?
I do.
You do. Awesome. Thank you, Carrie. Now, will all club members please turn on your webcams, and if you're able, join me and state our club's pledge to our newest member. We, the members of Online Presenters Toastmasters Club, pledge to support you in your quest for self-development, to provide you with a positive, helpful evaluations,
to
to
maintain
maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere,
to give
to give
you
you
opportunities to help others,
and
to make
your
a Toastmasters membership
a rewarding and fulfilling experience. Carrie Cedergren, it is now my pleasure to welcome you with open arms into Online Presenters.
Thank you. Should I kiss the screen?
Love it, love it, love it.
That's what it kind of felt like. I'm like, am I getting married again?
And I know that you have been a Toastmaster in the past. I have attended a lot of clubs around the world, and there's none like Online Presenters, Carrie. You are going to be welcomed and encouraged so much. And if you're on social media, you're going to laugh every day when Mr. Jim Barber shares his funny Rotten Tomatoes memes of the day.
I am looking forward to it.
And we have
Thank
fun.
you for having me.
Thank you.
I'm honored.
All right, back to you, Madam President.
Always a fun, exciting, and exhilarating time whenever we induct some new blood into our club. And don't worry, you'll hear more from her later on, because not only is she becoming one of us, she's going to tell us some more about herself later on in the meeting. To take us through this culinary delight, we have a marathon runner. Might be why she found something healthy to choose. I mean, after all, if you're training, it would help, right? To have a tomato. So for National Fresh Tomato Day, please help me welcome Sherry Blake to take us through our agenda. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much. Well, good evening, everyone. Toastmasters and guests. So as Toastmaster of the Day, I'm excited to welcome you to today's meeting, where our theme is National Fresh Tomato Day, celebrated today, April 6th. Now, you might be wondering, what do tomatoes have to do with Toastmasters? Well, more than you think. Tomatoes are versatile. They can be bold and stand on their own, like in a fresh salad. They can be blended into something smooth, like a sauce, or they can add just the right touch of flavor to complete a dish. Much like tomatoes, each speaker brings something unique to the table. Some presentations are bold and energetic, others are thoughtful and reflective, and some tie everything together in a meaningful way. Tomatoes also take time to ripen. They don't start out bright red and ready. They grow, develop, and mature. That's exactly what we do here at Toastmasters. We come in at different stages, and with each meeting, each speech, and each role, we continue to grow and become more confident communicators and leaders. And here's another fun thought. As I mentioned earlier, technically a tomato is a fruit. Now, I'm not sure if I heard Allison say the opposite, but most people treat it like a vegetable, which I did growing up. Sometimes things aren't always what they seem. In Toastmasters, we challenge ourselves to think differently, stretch beyond our labels, and discover strengths that we didn't know we had. So today, as we enjoy National Fresh Tomato Day, let's celebrate growth, variety, and bringing our best flavor to the meeting. Whether you're speaking or evaluating or supporting each of our speakers, let's make this a fresh, engaging, and vibrant meeting. So I would like to get started and have our members who have taken on a role to just briefly explain what your role is. So I'm going to skip over David Carr. He is our tip master. He's going to give the tip of the day. But let's jump over to our timer, Jenny Ayala. Can you please tell us what your role is? You're on mute, Jenny. Yep, Jenny, you're still on mute.
Thank you.
There you go.
As the timer, I will be taking the time for only prepared speeches with duration of more than 4 minutes, 30 seconds, or less than 7 minutes, 30 seconds, which they are eligible for voting. So I'm going to just do my background with green when it's going to be 4. Oh, sorry. And yellow when it's going to be 6 minutes, or in red 7 minutes. As well as for table topics, I did for 1 minute or less than 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And for 1 minute, I posted green, and yellow 1 minute, 30 seconds, and red 2 minutes. For evaluation speeches will be more than 1 minute, 30 seconds, or less than 3 minutes, 30 seconds. All of that, those times are eligible for voting. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that. We're going to move on to our odd counter, Allison Blakeman. Can you please tell us what you're doing this evening?
Yes, ma'am, Madam Toastmaster. Tonight, I'm your eye counter. And just like in the culinary world, the smallest ingredients can make or break the final dish. I'll be listening for those ahs, ums, and other filler words like, because when you remove them, you elevate your message from average to exceptional. So I'm here to help you make an exceptional dish tonight.
Thank you so much. Next will be our grammarian, Joni Laidlaw.
My apologies. Our grammarian actually did make it in the nick of time, so I'll turn that role over to Carrie, who may not be able to be on video, but she'll definitely be doing the role.
I see her. Sorry about that. Carrie Kong is our grammarian. Can you tell?
Hello, Sherry, Toastmaster of the day, and everyone. I'm sorry on the road, but my camera will be back soon. For grammarian today, definitely I will need to count the word of the day usage for everyone. So to remind everyone, our word of the day is culinary. Culinary is an adjective. It relates to the kitchen, a cookery everyone is liking. Definitely I cook today. So everyone, you can just use the word. For example, you can use they serve a variety of culinary delights. It's such a delightful word to use. For the rest of the meeting, I will be counting and seeing everyone's grammar, the good usage of it, sentence structures, vocabulary, and of course, if there are words of improvements, I'll definitely let you know by the end of the meeting. Back to you, Sherry.
Thank you so much. Our watcher is David Carr. David.
So I learned from Jim Barber that the watcher can be described as the verbal grammarian. So I'm going to be looking at the visual language that you communicate through the screen, whether it's from fancy special effects or just how well you smile. And I'll give a report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you so much. Our next role is chat monitor, Simmer Dillon.
Yes, thank you, Shari. I'm a chat monitor and also I'm having the role of counter first experience. So today I will be serving as your chat monitor and vote counter. As chat monitor, I will keep an eye on the chat throughout the meeting, capturing key comments, questions, and highlights from from the audience if there is any. I will also help bring forward any important insight shared in the chat so everyone stays engaged. And as a vote counter, I will collect and count your votes for the best speaker, evaluator, and table topics participation, ensuring accuracy and confidentiality. That's all. Thank you. Back to Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Great. Thank you so much for that. So let's jump into our meeting. So our tip of the day is going to be delivered by David Carr.
Okay.
Yes. David, the virtual floor is all yours. Sorry about
All right, terrific. Let's see. I have a couple of things I wanted to share with you just quickly. We revamped the membership page. If you go to the membership link on our website menu, we get to this page that lists out the officers and lists out the members. When you're logged in, you get to see everybody. As a member, you get to decide whether you want to be listed publicly. And so, I like to blow my own horn, so I have my profile set to be public, and I have various social media links as jumping off points there. I'm actually logged in pretending to be Jim Barber. So that's an upgrade, I understand, but I'm pretending to be Jim Barber, and if Jim Barber wants to come in and edit his profile, when he looks at this page, if he's logged in, he will see a link to say edit your profile. If he wants to edit his profile picture, he can click here, and that should take him directly to the part of the form where he can upload a new profile picture. So we would encourage you to do that. Go ahead and put in a blurb about yourself. And then if you do want your profile to be shared publicly, and we'd like you to be out there promoting yourself as a proud member of this club, you can set yourself to be a public profile as opposed to being just shared with the members. And if you really don't even want to be shared with the members, you can opt out of that entirely. But I think the main reason that Joni wanted me to talk was just to go over a little bit about how we go about signing up for roles in this club. So this is the current meeting. I'm going to jump ahead a couple of weeks, and I'm still pretending to be Jim Barber. So when I sign up for things, you'll see Jim Barber's names appear. So I'll make Jim Barber Toastmaster of the Day for the 20th. I don't know whether that's okay with Jim Barber or not. Jim Barber realizes he can't make it on the 20th. He can click on the X to withdraw from that role. So it's plus to sign up, a little X to withdraw. There's also this suggest mode, which is kind of neat. This is where you can say we'll pick on Jim Barber.
David, are
again.
you trying to share your screen? Because your screen's not sharing.
Oh, we're seeing it, Andy.
We're seeing it.
We're seeing
It's
it.
shared. It's shared.
Okay.
It's shared.
So if I pick somebody from this list, this is the suggest mode. The idea here is I am suggesting somebody take the role. So I'm not just adding them to the agenda. I'm not making them do it, but I'm suggesting that maybe they haven't done this in a while. And so I'm nominating you for a role. And so I'll send this off to Jim. Jim will get an email that looks like this. It says, I'm nominating you for a role. To confirm, click this button. Click here to say, actually, I won't actually even be at that meeting. Or We could ignore the whole thing. There is also a mode where we can send out the agenda to everybody. So we go up to the top menu here. So this I used a moment ago to jump ahead from one meeting to the next. Here I'm going to say, do I want to print the agenda? Do I want to show it on screen? Actually, what I want to do is email the agenda. And this is where I'm going to email this off to everybody. And everybody's going to get a version of this agenda that shows all the open roles. Most of the roles are open. Carrie is also already signed up to be a speaker, which is great. But anybody else who receives this message can, with one click, sign up to be whatever role that they have chosen. And so it's meant to be a quick thing where you can sign up for a role without necessarily having to log in. Maybe you're getting the email on your phone or something. And so it would be easier if you just had a one-click way of signing up. So you can do that. So that's the idea there. I would put in a little message. I can customize the subject line that will appear on the message. I basically say that we don't have many people signed up. Please sign up and help us out. In general, I would encourage you to jump ahead a couple of weeks on the agenda and not just sign up for the next Monday, but to sign up for the Monday after. So here we are on the 20th. I can go from suggesting mode back into sign up mode, and you can sign up for any of these things. Now, again, there are other options here. Like, suppose somebody emails me back. So I get an email reply back. They didn't actually click the link, but they're telling me that they can be a grammarian for this date. So I can pick them from the agenda, and we'll make Andy do it for this date. If I need to change that again, I can put it back to open, and it will remove Andy from the agenda. So a bunch of things that are handy for helping to fill the agenda with signed up roles. One other thing that I recommend to the VP of Education who's trying to fill roles at the end of the meeting is there's this assign mode where it gives you kind of a stripped down version of the screen that just shows you the open roles, and you can plug people into the agenda pretty quickly. That's just a quick tour of features that are available on our website. Again, I'm David Carr. I'm a writer and editor who pretends to be a techie some of the time, and I hope sometimes it's a little bit convincing. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that useful tip. Tips are always good. Okay, so now we're going to get into our speeches for the day. We have 3 speakers. We have two regular speakers, and we're going to have a prospective member speech later in the meeting. So let's start with our first speaker, Carrie Cedergren. Carrie, her path is not set, but she's at level 1, mastering fundamentals, and she's going to be doing her icebreaker. The title of her speech is Building a Plan for Financial Success. I'm excited to introduce Carrie Cedergren. Carrie is a certified financial planner with financial finesse and a dedicated financial coach. When she's not helping people master their money, she's usually out riding horses, trying new culinary adventures in her kitchen, or tending to her garden. Carrie is currently on a mission to facilitate 100 webcasts. And today she's practicing an intro segment from her full program. She's here to help us filter out the financial noise so we can focus on the practical basics. Please help me welcome Carrie Cedergren.
Thank you so much, Sherry. It's nice to be able to be part of this club. I feel very welcome, so appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so if you are here for the Building a Plan for Financial Success webcast, you are in the right place. My name is Carrie Cedergren, and I work for Financial Finesse as a certified financial planner out of Eugene, Oregon, beautiful Eugene, Oregon. I grew up on a farm in the Midwest in Minnesota. We did not grow tomatoes. We grew soybeans and corn. And because I grew up on a farm, I have a no nonsense plow horse mentality to my coaching style, my financial coaching style. So I don't cut corners. Now, you may have heard about cutting corners financially. Have you heard about that crypto? Have you heard about that tech stock? There's a lot on social media, and AI is teaching people as well. It's tough though, because who do you trust? There's so much noise. I provide practical education and time-tested tools for financial planning. You can't cut corners in farming, and you can't cut corners in financial planning. I'm going to bring up a poll right now. In this poll, let me do this. I got to find it here. This poll is going to help me help you. I've never shared a poll here, so this is going to be a challenge. And I might have to pass it because I don't think I can find it on my... All right. Yes, I am going to pass the poll, but let's just, I'll just ask the question. When you hear the word financial planning, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? And maybe you want to type this in the Q&A. A spreadsheet that you have in your computer, like a folder way back that you haven't looked at in a year. Maybe you think of financial planning as like a secret club that you can only have if you have millions of dollars, like you can only be a part of it. A to-do list that seems like a foreign language. Maybe it means to you the freedom from not having to worry about how much you have in your bank account. And then there's other people that are like, what? A financial plan? What is that? All right, let me see if I can get some answers here. So let me see. Stress, financial planning. Ooh, yes. It's a cool feature and I need one. Talking to an analyst, unknown and stressing, dollars. Oh, yes. This is good. This is good. A whole lot of shouldas. That's a good way to describe it. So what does financial finesse do for you? Your employer provides financial finesse as a benefit. It's an unlimited benefit, including webcasts, financial coaching by phone or by chat. You can set specific appointments. You truly have an unbiased resource to access multiple ways. The advantage is we take what your benefits are for your company and combine that with our knowledge of being a financial planner and come up with the specific plan for you. I said I grew up in Minnesota. It snows a lot in Minnesota, and each snowflake is different. So financial finesse, when you talk to a human coach, we can help you come up with a plan for your specific snowflake situation. We're here to help you navigate it all. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into this webcast today. Again, my name is Carrie Cedergren. I'm one of 29 financial planning coaches on the team. We have a question and answer box where you can type in questions and then I'll get to them as I can. If I can't get to them today, I'm going to put my email in the chat right now, so you have access to that, if I can spell it right. Carrie.cedergren@financialfinesse.com. So please email me questions as well. Otherwise, you can call the phone number that's on the hub, your Financial Finesse hub, that I'll show you what it looks like as well. And outside those hours of the financial coaching, which is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., you have access to a free virtual financial coach called Amy. So Amy, what that is it helps provide an action plan when you don't have anybody to talk to. So let me show you. I'm going to share my screen here. This is Amy. So Amy, you can type in your questions, and then what will happen is you will have an action plan outside of the financial coaching, the human financial coaching that you can access 24/7. All right. So what is financial planning? Between the AI experts and the clickbait headlines and that Uncle John that gives you just weird advice, what financial planning is 7 components. And let me share those components with you. The components are
30 seconds to wrap it up.
Okay. The components are setting goals. That's important. You can't get from Eugene, Oregon to Minnesota without a map, and you have to set goals financially as well. Cash management. You have to know where your money is going. You have to know how much you're consuming. Education planning. Maybe you have a child, or maybe you want to pay for college education yourself. Tax strategies. Tax strategies, you want to pay, well, I live in the States, I want to pay the IRS, but I don't want to give them a tip. I want to pay what I owe, but not anymore. Insurance and estate planning. How do you protect what you have, and how do you make sure that you pass on what your wealth to your beneficiary? Choosing investments, retirement planning. This is just a small start to the complete picture of financial planning. So what I encourage you to do is to look forward to the next webcast where you will get a deeper dive into each of these 7 topics. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that. That's presentation. Learning more about finances is always a good thing because not everyone can handle their finances well. So this was a very useful presentation, and I thank you so much. Our next speaker is Andrew Byrne. Andrew Byrne is he's doing a presentation mastery speech, which is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. The title of his speech is Workshop Event, Let the AI Do the Work. Andy Byrne is a founding member of this club in 2017. He served all officer positions at the club level, served as both area and division directors. He was also the club growth director in D47. Currently, he serves as an officer in 5 clubs and as a Division B director in D48. He is currently running for the program quality director in District 84. Everyone, please help me welcome Andrew Byrne.
Thank you very much. I was previously muted. So let me just, where am I here? I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. There. Okay. I have a question for each of you. What we're going to do today is sort of a workshop, a mini workshop, answering a question to a problem. Put yourself in my position. You've been in Toastmasters for longer than 1 year. You've been in multiple clubs, done many things, and someone said, provide a summary of everything that you've done in Toastmasters. And if you're like me, you didn't write everything down. You didn't create a CV of every single event that you did within the Toastmasters experience. And so when people are asking you, tell me everything you've done, you're asking yourself, how can I do this without any pain? So this talk is about reducing the friction, reducing the resistance. So let's take a look at how one could do that. And hopefully I'm going to be jumping around to different kinds of screens. So first I'm going to take a look at this screen. Okay, do you see this? This is the answer to the question. So I was faced with, how do I take 16 years of Toastmasters and summarize it in a way that people can see and understand? And everybody that's been involved in Toastmasters for any length of time can do the same thing if you follow these steps. What I'm going to be utilizing right now, you're looking at Snagit. This is a image capture program, and I've captured this slide from my keynote slide deck that goes over things that I've done in Toastmasters. Okay, but for each of you, what I can show you is this. Everyone can go, let me go kill this part. I'm going to somewhere else now. I'm going to be sharing the Toastmaster website that you're all familiar with. And you should not this, no, wrong one. Share. Here we go. So you should be familiar with this. This is the website you go to when you go to Pathways. This is the website that everybody is familiar with. And what you may not have realized is that one of the things that you can do on that website is, do this one more time. Here we go. What you can do in this website is go to the achievements section. And in the achievements section, you can click on this, and that's your achievement board. And it has 5 things. It has your educational awards, the officers held, the individual sponsorship history that you had, club history, and additional achievements and roles. So why was this important? Because I asked the question, well, how many people have I sponsored in 16 years? By going to the individual history, I discovered that I sponsored almost 100 people. I identified all my educational awards and took all this information and turned each of these into an Excel spreadsheet. Why did I do that? I did that because my next stop was to use this program known as notebooklm.google.com. Now, what that does is, okay, what that will do is allow you to have 3 sections, and in those 3 sections, you have your resources, it does your chat, and then it has a number of things that you can do. And when I say you can do a number of different things, this is what I mean by that. Just pull this up here. Notebook, okay. So now I'm going to share this with you all. Okay, so here is a notebook. You have many notebooks, but this came from this notebook. So I took those 5, sort of like the cooking classes where they have the things, this is the ingredients you use, and then how you make what they're showing you. So if you look on this column, you can see that the 5 areas that Toastmasters was looking at were converted into Excel spreadsheets, and they were all listed here as web sources. It did a summary of everything that I've done in Toastmasters. And then over here is a real interesting side. It gives you an audio overview, slide decks, video overview, mind maps, reports, flashcards, a data table, infographics, and quizzes. I used the infographics to create the picture that I showed you at the very beginning. And each of you can use that to do the same thing. And it's fun because it does lots of different things. Here is a mind map of what I did in Toastmasters, and it breaks it down to education awards, office positions, affiliated clubs. And by clicking on the mind map, it starts breaking it down. So if you ask the question, how many DTMs I have, it answers that by showing you I have 3 DTMs and when I got them. If you want to know what pathways I've done, this, it pulls that up as well. And then once you're done with that, you can pull up legacy awards. This is in the old system where I got a competent communicator and a CC and an advanced leader bronze. So, and an advanced leader silver gold as well. So these are the things that you can see from the viewpoint of a mind map. And this I find really useful in explaining things to individuals. So those are some of the things I just want to show you, that each of you, if you use this structure, you'll be able to create that kind of a graphic for yourself. And I just went back to the main thing and I say I'm in red, so I'm probably way over time. Thanks much.
Thank you so much for that speech. Always useful information. Next, we're going to move on. I'm going to turn this segment over to, are we going to do the prospective member speech? That should come now, correct? Joni?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to turn this part over to our VP of Membership, Allison Blakeman. And she'll introduce our prospective member speech.
All right. Pardon me for not looking at the agenda, but I believe that's going to be Sanjivani. And Sanjivani, are you ready?
Sanjeevan.
Pardon me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, Sanjeevani.
Sanjivani. And I would like to introduce Sanjivani and her prospective member speech for this evening. Sanjivani, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here today and to introduce myself. My name is Sanjeevani and I am from Goa, a beautiful place known for its beaches and vibrant atmosphere. In my free time, I enjoy dancing, adventure sports, yoga, and meditation. One thing I would love to share about myself is that I strongly believe in personal growth. I enjoy learning new things and constantly try to improve myself step by step. One area that has been especially important to me is communication. I have always wanted to become more confident while speaking and better at expressing my thoughts clearly. I remember an incident that in my college that really shaped this goal. We had completed a project as a team, but one of my teammates who was had done most of the part of the work, was not present on the day of the presentation. So when he asked me to present, I was like completely froze. I was like nervous. I didn't know what to do. He just told me like it is just a script, as simple as that, as straightforward as that. Somehow I tried to manage reading the script, but I couldn't express the ideas the way I wanted to. So that experience made me like how important it is to be confident and well prepared while speaking. So this is the main reasons I wanted to join Toastmasters. While searching, I came across online presenters and I was looking for a space where I could practice speaking, learn from others, and grow in a positive environment. So this club felt like a place where people encourage each other and improve. And I think this is very special. While I'm talking about supportive environment, comfortable environment, especially person like me who is little introvert, such a setting becomes important. So I believe being a part of this club will help me grow in many ways. It will help me build my confidence, improve my presentation skills, and become more comfortable speaking in front of an audience. Most importantly, it will help me trust my own voice. I'm really excited to be here and I look forward to learning and growing with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Sanjeevani. Did I say it right? You're muted. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, it is right. Yeah.
Sanjeevani. Okay. Very nice. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to move on to our table topics, and that's going to be hosted by Graham Carnes. Graham, you have the virtual floor.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Sherry. We're running a bit late, so I'm going to ask for our table topics to be restricted to 1 minute, please. And in that case, can we just get a red light at 60 seconds for all of our presenters? Normally there would be between 1 and 2 minutes, but because we're running out of time, I'm going to ask for everybody to keep them to just 1 minute. The theme for the meeting, of course, is National Fresh Tomato Day. Tomatoes have the distinction, by the way, of being recognised as vegetables by the US Supreme Court. We were asking before about whether they were a fruit or a vegetable. In botanical terms, a fruit means seed-bearing bits of plants, but in culinary terms, fruit means seed-bearing bits that are sweet. And tomatoes are not sweet. They are yum, but they're not sweet. So cucumbers, chilies, eggplant, they're botanically fruit. But they're culinary vegetables. Talking of culinary, culinary is an adjective referring to the kitchen. It actually comes from the Latin word for kitchen, culina, and is used to describe activities and schools and skills and experiences involving food, as will all of our table topics today. I'm going to do something a little unusual today. I'm going to announce who I'm asking and then ask for you to speak for, as I say, up to around 60 seconds, everybody. And we'll start with Alison. Ali, is food one of your love languages? Is food one of your love languages, Alison?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Is food one of my love languages? Sort of. I don't love to eat, but I love to cook for others. I love to cook for the ones that I love. I get by on certain staples of food with protein, vegetables, fruits, vitamins, and minerals. And it's interesting that I can find something to eat off of any menu. So if we're out and about, I always ask the family, what are you in the mood for? What would you like? But I do absolutely love to cook for my family and cook for Belinda. I love to come up with new recipes and find things that wow her, because she works evening shift and she gets lunch between 6 and 6:30. So she has 30 minutes to eat. So I try to come up with some new, unique meal, whether it's Chinese orange chicken that I make myself, or could be steak or something unique whipped up or something simple. But that's a way that I express my love for someone, Mr. Table Topics Master. Back to you.
Thank you, Ali. Food of love. If food be the music be the food of love, eat on. No, that's not how it goes. Anyway, I'm going to, and I didn't ask our guests whether they wanted to participate today, but I'm going to ask them anyway. And I'll start with John. John, I'm pretty sure is a Toastmaster. So, John, was the kitchen the heart of your home growing up, or is it now?
Well, growing up, family of 11, middle child. I have 8 brothers, 2 sisters. My mom kind of just did the casserole thing. And it really, like you hear stories of other people with large families, if you don't come and get it when it's ready, you're going to go without. And that's how it was, the whole family. My mom wasn't the best cook. Since moving here in San Diego 4 years ago, I've been taking 40 plus cooking classes and I enjoy it. But being at home alone with my little dog, I don't do so much. I'm lazy at dishes, but I do enjoy the classroom setting. I think it's so fun. And sorry, I forgot the word of the day. And I want to argue with you about the fruit of tomatoes. It's the most popular fruit in the whole world. And it's funny you called that a veggie. So thank you so much for the question, Mr. Topics Master.
No worries. Thank you, John. As somebody earlier said, knowing that tomato is a fruit is one thing. Putting it in fruit salad is something completely different. And then we got asked whether ketchup was a smoothie. I don't know. Ketchup is not quite tomato sauce as we know it in Australia, but it's close. Going to move on to Marvin, if you're willing to take a shot at this, Marvin. I'd like to ask, is there a dish of yours that is a favourite? So do you have a favourite dish, Marvin, if you can join us?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. Let me. I do actually enjoy tomato, just like you guys were saying, and I do enjoy it in several ways, right? First is in salad, and second one is when I cook it with chicken. So it's I don't enjoy tomato by itself, but I actually enjoy it when I cook my chicken. Because just like the somebody else was saying right now, they enjoy protein. I do as well. So that's one of my favorite, mixing the tomato with cooking the tomato with the chicken.
Excellent. I do like a tomato sauce based chicken. In fact, I have a one for dinner coming up tomorrow night. Talking of tomorrow night, I'm hoping that it'll be a culinary one masterpiece. It's the first time I've tried making this, but I want to find out from Jenny, have you had a culinary disaster where you've tried to create something and it just has not gone the way you wanted? Jenny.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I think I would like to use tomatoes and large onions. That is very representative from my country. And sometimes when you don't have boiling water, so the tomatoes get so dried and it's not going to taste well. And that's why always is recommended to put boiling water besides when you are mixing the onion first in order to the flavors of the onion can be outside first, and then add the tomatoes in when you are just stirring and it's not enough water, so you need to add the boiling water in order that you get the very good gisan for your plate. But yes, it was a disaster when I didn't add.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. We've all had those. There's a question that I was asked the other day, inspired by a book that I'm reading. Is cooking all really about chemistry and understanding the process, or is it more about, is cooking science or is it an art? So Joni wants this question. Yeah, all right, Joni, you can have this one.
Eye of newt, ear of frog. Now, for anybody who has ever actually listened to, watch Macbeth, and we saw those witches around the cauldron, images of frog legs and various weird animal parts being thrown into a cauldron is what it's usually expressed. But what if I told you that all of those were actually plants? My son said it to me the other day. You know, what's weird is that a mushroom with just one little slight difference can be the difference between that's a culinary delight. And boy, was Bob formerly known as a wonderfully delightful person. Cooking is an art and a skill. Why? You have to know what to mix together to create that culinary feast, that masterpiece. As I said before, wisdom is knowing that knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. But in the same way, understanding your audience is important, because one person is, who would ever want tomato on a pizza or not have tomato on a pizza is another person's that sounds delightful. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
There you go. The barbecue pizza is probably becoming my favorite, but I still maintain that a pizza really should have tomato sauce. Sanjivani, a question for you. Was there a dish that was your growing up favorite, something that is your go-to dish still today?
My go-to dish would be biryani. I didn't had it much, but more than that, more than this, like I would definitely go for dosa and idli. That is a South Indian specialty and it is very healthy. So, yeah, my favorite is that one. And I think everybody should try it. So, it's a fermented dish, rice, which is soaked overnight with lentils, and it is mixed high in protein and low in carbs. Like carbs are there, but since it is fermented, it is like helpful for your health. So, yeah, I would go with that.
Excellent, excellent. I have to say, idli for breakfast is a delight, and I like biryani, but a dosa, you know, the big that's my go-to South, well, subcontinental food. Carrie, for you, you're somebody who's grown up with multiple languages. We've heard about tomatoes today. And of course, for me, they're tomatoes. We've heard about potatoes and potato. But tell me about a something that went wrong with you with food where you didn't understand what it was that you were going to be eating because of cultural differences. A food that you've eaten that you thought, that is not what I was expecting. Or a food that you thought, I'm going to have that again, but that you weren't expecting because of cultural differences.
Hi, Graham. Because I come from such a variety of background, definitely I have experienced Western food, Australian food, and Chinese food and Asian food. One of the food I have ever tried that was really shocking my experiences, palatable, but at the same time, like a little bit weird, is kangaroo meat, which I actually tried in Western Australia. That was the first time someone handed me in a kangaroo meat, and I picked it up and I felt like, what the is that? And then I tried a little bit. It tasted like chicken. So I thought, oh, the way this is chicken, and then I had a whole bowl of it. But after like 20 minutes, I learned that it was actually kangaroo meat, and actually it's in the culinary culture in Australia that you will have kill kangaroos sometimes in hunting season and eat it. It's totally acceptable, and they have like a season for it, but definitely it's something that I really respect. But from my perspective, kangaroo is also really cute. Sometimes it's really cute and lovely, so maybe we should not kill them, but I totally understand. Back to you, Graham.
Thank you, Kerry. I have to say the kangaroos are culled mostly relatively humanely in Australia. And if you don't, they become pests. But the other thing about kangaroo, and if you ever get the chance to eat Skippy, it is the least cholesterol of any red meat. It is incredibly lean, but it is incredibly low in cholesterol, and it is really, really quite yum if you prepare it right. On that note, I've done my bit. I'm hungry now. I want to go and eat, but I can't do that because we've still got another 15 minutes of the meeting. To wrap up that meeting, I'll hand back to our general evaluator for this evening. And who was our GE tonight? That's Joni Laidlaw.
Thank you so much for that excellent table topic session. And everybody, I'm hoping that we go quickly. I'm going to ask our first evaluator, Annie, to give us her report.
Thank you very much, Joni, and thank you very much to Carrie. The first thing that I am sure we all noticed was Carrie's confidence. It came across in so many ways. Her voice is confident. She's got that natural lower voice, which for women is often hard to get. She's got it. It's a no-nonsense voice. We want to listen to what she's going to say. She talks about things like, it's a whole lot of should-haves. So her language is making her say, hey, this is a woman who can cut through fancy speak, if you like, and just speak to us directly. That came across so incredibly well, Carrie. And I can see that that style would work very well in the world that you are in your business, and where people need to really trust you. I felt like I trusted you. The second thing I loved was your courage to attempt such a speech for your icebreaker. You were very brave in trying to put so much into the speech. You had 7 steps. You wanted to put them in a poll. You had loads of information, and you pivoted quickly to messaging where you got loads of responses. So there was this real courage of like, I'm going to fit everything that I can into this speech. This will lead me to my first recommendation, that less is almost always more. And I think you could see that by the time you had the red light, and we were running out of time. How to have all the information we want to give and halve it, and then go, okay, now I'll start with that half, and it gives me time to add more of myself into the speech. And that is my second recommendation, where if some of the hardline content is cut, we can hear a little bit more about Carrie. We heard some and we loved it. Your horses, Minnesota, it was great. And it gave you real credibility. But how to weave some more of that into the speech for 2 reasons. One is in terms of your practicing for your financial presentation you're going to give, it gives you that more trustworthy content. But for Toastmasters, it gives us an opportunity to get to know you more. Now, the Icebreaker project it's about getting used to public speaking, yeah, but also it is about introducing yourself a little bit more to the club, and we can get a little bit more information about you. I think it would work in both contexts. Less content, more Carrie. Yes, who would not want that? Also, just in terms of your information art, did that work? Yes, and I'll just cover that up there. In terms of less is more, I felt, for me personally, any slide with loads and loads of information on it is a lot. Again, there could be less. There could just be pictures, and then we get to hear more of you, more of your words. Yeah, less content, more Carrie is what I would love. I loved your gestures, Carrie. They were natural. Even though you were sitting down, one option is to stand up. You don't have to. But even though you were sitting down, they came across natural, hand on heart, hands up here. Loved it. In summary, great confidence, great courage. Consider less content, more Carrie, and you are a hit both in your business, I'm sure, and online presenters. Thank you.
Less content, more Carrie for an icebreaker, but I do look forward to Carrie moving on to do a speech with a purpose and giving us more content than Carrie next time. However, it's Toastmasters lore that whenever someone does an icebreaker, that we give them a standing ovation. Now, since I don't want to get up, let's use all our emojis, our chats on mute, and let's woot it up for Carrie for stepping forward to give her icebreaker. Come on, everybody. Let's show her some love. Woo! 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 Great job. And I look forward to your next speech. For our next evaluator, I'm going to ask Kritika to go ahead and evaluate.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yoru. Andrew, first of all, I should say, well done for the topic that you're selected today, which is very much appropriate for today's world and evolving changes with the transformation and the resilience that is happening in every business vertical market. And that gets us to know more about the technological advancement and its business outcome and how it could be integrated into our day-to-day work. Said this, your topic starters, you started with the introducing your speech, like asking a question. That is a very important part of how you introduced your speech. It was an amazing way to start a technical speech because nobody knows what is there in your speech. You nailed in that particular aspect. You asked, provide a summary of what you wanted to say about Toastmasters, and then you moved slowly to getting to showing your result, like the format of output and outcome using a specific tool that you have used. And in between, you introduced like, how did you get that outcome? Using Excel data into insights and then bringing the notebook LLM into your presentation, like how did you mitigate the tools, techniques into your day-to-day work, improving your productivity by getting the insights from your own set of data that you have. Specifically, when it comes to data, it is quite difficult for analyzing and you need to go for a separate analyst, and that is mitigated through this tool, and that is what in Andrew's speech today has been exemplified. I would say one another noteworthy thing that is mentioned in today's meeting is about the option of getting a mind map. Notebook LLM obviously gives you a lot of options, and those technological advancement with the help of generative AI is explained in today's speech by Greg. One improvement point, what I can see from your speech today is you have an option of sharing things, like if I may share, I can just go and then share like this. Or there are multiple other options to share. You can have a window-based sharing like this, a side-by-side sharing. This would have given you a more appropriate way, like side-by-side. If you could see this window of me, this side-by-side sharing gives you a more useful way of seeing your screen. When there are 2 to 3 shares in a single 5-minute speech, that would have been the best way. And the second thing is, your topic might have been a little catchy, like AI, your presentation buddy. That would have made a lot of sense. On an overall, I loved your speech. It was highly appropriate, informative, and your profound knowledge, as usual, is reflected in the speech as well. Well done, Raj. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you for that critical. For everyone, and this is going to be important for those doing level 1 and evaluation, Toastmasters actually highlights I statement, I felt, I perceived, I saw. I noticed that you use a lot of you statements, and according to Toastmasters, that's actually advice, and in some cases, it can seem confrontational. Hence, I would have felt better if you did. I would have liked it. I'll give you an example, critical. I liked how you did the demonstration because not only did it explain to Dr. Andrew how he could improve, but it also helped me to see other possible Zoom options. So for future reference, try to work less with yous, which can come off as advice and a bit mean, and work more with I's. This is how it made me feel. So that we'll know if you are our target audience, that's how we would connect with you. But overall, thank you for that evaluation. We're going to move on quickly. I'm going to ask
I want co-host Rai to take a pic of all of us. Please give me.
And I'll be happy to do that at the end of the meeting for you, right before guest comments. Now we're going to move on quickly to our evaluators, to our functionaries. And if you look in the chat, you should see the link to vote. It is our vote counters first time. We'll use kid gloves Just pick who is your favorite speaker in this case. And best speaker won't be there because, hey, we all know an icebreaker is an automatic winner. If there's only one speaker, they're the best speaker. We're going to move on, and I'm going to ask everybody to wrap up quickly with their summaries, starting with our timer who already put the times in the chat. Madam Timer, how do we do on time?
Thank you, Madam President. For the speakers, the icebreaker, which is not the time, but I just did the measurement. It was 8 minutes, 2 seconds. And for the second speaker, it was 8 minutes, 26 seconds. And for the evaluators, the first evaluator was 3 minutes, 19 seconds. And the second evaluator, 3 minutes, 22 seconds between the time. And for table topics, everybody were under the 1 minute. Back to you, Mrs.
I had to call on our timer specifically and give her the time because it's her first time doing this role, and it was a culinary delight because she even used the theme in her background. Great job, Jenny. I look forward to you doing this role in the future to practice and hone your skills, but great job for the first time.
Thank you.
Everybody else, your online presenters, alumni, which means a 30-second wrap-up starting with our R counter.
Counter. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Everyone was pretty clean. I caught myself with a couple of oars, but other than that, everyone was absolutely clean. Usually I catch David Carr with an here or there, and David, you must have been distracted in your car because you were absolutely clean. Not a single one. Back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you. And that's the joy of Toastmasters. We improve. David's getting better. We keep missing them. We'll see in the future. Moving on to our grammarian, Carrie.
Hi, Johnny and everyone. Today, everyone is doing an excellent job using culinary and using all types of food. Those vocabularies in the chat, the vocabularies I cannot even pick, about the potatoes, about the paste, about the cooking materials and everything. I really want to applaud everyone for using the word of the day. Johnny, Sherry, Sunny, Allison, Graham, and myself, of course, for using the word of culinary for multiple times, 1 to multiple times. I would extremely appreciate Graham's vocabulary usage for today. Like, he introduces the word like culina, and explain and use heart of the fruit, fruit disaster, the light. Those are the wonderful words for our table topics. In terms of the grammar, even though today we were mainly talking about food and there are like Dr. Andy Byrne and Carrie using in the speeches, giving like a lot of different speech about the financial planning, about the usage of the manual, about the instructions, the functions of the website. But I would really want to applaud like Sanjeev fella. I'm so sorry.
Sanjeevani.
Sanjeevani.
You can call me Sanju. It's a short name.
Yes, we should do that. Sanju. Because for Sanju, your grammar is super simple, first and second and third, but it comes to so easy to understand your motivation of joining Toastmasters, why you're here, and what you would like to achieve. This is the perfect grammar. It's a very simple grammar. I really want everyone else to learn about it. Back to you, Johnny.
She did do an excellent job. I completely agree. And I can't wait for her icebreaker speech for her to elaborate on that. Thanks for the encouragement. David, what did you see while you were watching? Well, us.
I wanted to mention that Andy has the branded background, but it looks like he also has black background blur turned on. I suspect that he's actually using a couple of different programs at the same time. And sometimes you can overcomplicate things by trying to use too many technologies layered on top of each other, too many screen sharing gimmicks. Also, I noticed that he was fumbling a little bit with trying to change from screen to screen. So I wanted to show you a technique that I use, which is setting up things as multiple browser tabs. So when I give my tip of the day, I had this tab queued up. I actually had one with Jim Barber queued up where I could click on the edit profile, and then I had the meeting queued up. So and for this, actually, you can drag and drop a static image. So I use Snagit too, but instead of showing an image in Snagit, I can drag and drop it into a browser tab and it will display there, which is a better way of showing it full screen. It's just a better organizational way of finding my way from two to things. So I would suggest that for what you wanted to present, if you could have had a few of those things set up as different browser tabs, and you could have had a tab for the Toastmasters International screen where you went back to research your own speech history.
I did that, David. And one question I have is when Zoom went to go to the screen, because there were multiple things opened up within Google, it didn't hit the right one. So I had to close out all the other screens and then reopen the Google to bring up that tab. So
it's hard to show. It's hard for me to demonstrate Zoom inside Zoom.
Special thing that I love.
Yeah.
My suggestion is always this. Remember I statements, prefer to come on early and test. Does it work when it's your time to present? No. It does help, though, to test beforehand. And I believe that will be our best piece of advice for today. Thank you so much, David, for your report, for what you saw during the course of the meeting. Excellent. We're going to now move on to our chat monitor, and our chat monitor today for the first time. I think she's doing 2 roles. Is this 2 roles? First time, double role. Simmer, over to you to tell us what you saw.
Oh, yeah, it was, first of all, very interesting topic and word of the day today. I see people were engaged, lot of communication going on, and it's so much fun stuff. Plus, we had a gym birthday today, so the chat was busy than normal. So, but it's a good, very engaging. That's what we wanted, and then very respectful, and then people are I want to say that respectful and friendly to each other. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. And now, in her role for the first time as vote counter, drum roll, please. Go ahead, Simmer.
Yes. So today, this is exciting news to announce. Thank you for all the topic speakers for your creativity and courage. Each of you brought this unique perspective on this the theme of the food of the tomatoes. It was great, and then now it's the time to announce the winner. And today, actually, there are 2 winners. The competition is tie. It's Johnny and Carrie Con and Johnny. Yeah, So congratulations to all of you on the outstanding responses and presence. So again, it's a great applause for all of you.
Great job. Thank you, Simmer. And with that, I'm actually going to call our meeting adjourned, but I'm going to ask our guests to stick around. Let me just go ahead and stop our recording.